Hi, friends. Chris Kelly here. Well, time to look at market data, a little bit of statistical evaluation, and a little further conversation on what being a consummate professional is and what that means to you, the consumer, and me, the professional. So let's take a quick look at stats. I mean, nothing dramatically different here than the last few weeks. Like I said, these numbers rather, the average and median price has crept down a little bit. This has crept up a little bit. Nothing dramatic, not a whole bunch of drama there, but it over time it has crept. The time on the market's crept up, and we finally started seeing the median price creep down the last 3 or 4 weeks now, but nothing falling off the shelf. And so, it's again, it's a slower market in velocity. I said this last week than it was even in 2019. But again, 2019 was a fantastic market. So one of the best markets we had ever seen. And so we're not ridiculously off pace. I haven't gone back a whole bunch of years and pulled up something that was more similar as a year to the market that we're in right now, but I've done this long enough to have seen markets be cool and plateaus happen. And I mean, it's not either we're shooting upwards or it's a great recession. There's a whole bunch of in between that goes on. So anyway, that's probably all I'm going to say about the actual stats this week. So touching on, and I guess I'll put this out there before we shift gears. I'll have a couple of at least a couple of links here to some decent articles. I try to find an article or two every week that I read that might just provide good insight and good information as to what's actually going on. And that kind of segues into what I've talked about a few different times, and that is where are you getting your information, and what is the agenda behind it? If you're listening to me, my agenda is clear. I am here to help people make decisions, particularly around real estate buying and selling, when it's time to do so, and depending on their circumstances. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't have a side hustle. I'm not getting paid for clicks on YouTube. There's just none of that. It's simply what I just said. I get paid when somebody decides they need to buy or sell, and they engage my services to do it. It's pretty much that simple. I say that for a reason. There's a lot of people in the media space, and a lot of them are brokers. A lot of them are attorneys. A lot of them are professionals in one way or another. And they've got this side hustle that is media. And the shock and awe gets clicks, and clicks get viewership, and viewership might turn into coaching, or it might turn into some other source of revenue for them and their business. But they're doing it, I guess nefariously is the best way to put it. They're doing it through shock and awe. And that gets back to, again, what is it to be the consummate professional? Well, on one hand, as I've said before, I'm not here to be Pollyanna about this. I'm not here to say everything's just dandy all the time. But I think it's important to sift through the shock and awe, look at actually what's going on. As I've said, that does change market to market, city to city, more particularly, region to region. So what might be going on in Portland is different than what might be going on in Las Vegas, or across the country in the Southeast. So it is important to look at your city or your region and get good information about what's actually going on. So to me, being the consummate professional is trying to provide that as much as I can on a regular basis, on the national level, and then with the stats that we put out every week on a more local level. So it gets really, really hard. I guess people spin things all the time, but it gets harder to spin things when you sift through it and go, well, where am I getting this information? What are they actually trying to provide it for? Why are they trying to provide it? What's the goal? What's the agenda? So I just think that's so important to consider as a consumer. And I want to continue to drive that point home. We are here to make sure you've got good, solid information. If something's getting worse, I just said it earlier in this video, if the median sales price is coming down some, well, let's look at that. I mean, I put it out every single week. You can see it numerically, where it's been and where we are. The averages were up in the mid sixes and now they're right below six. Medians were up almost 2 and at 6, and now they're down in the mid 5s. That's where we are citywide. That's not a dramatic shift in actual median sales price. It's just not. But it did come down. And again, that's good information. What does that mean to you and your individual circumstances? Not necessarily a lot. If you're selling a $3 million property in the outskirts versus a $600,000 property closer in, those are entirely two different circumstances and two different situations. So, like I said, real estate is local and sometimes very much individual. So, anyway, I just want you to know that we are here. And by the way, the people that I refer you to, my fellow service providers, lender, contractors, the people that I deal with think and act philosophically the same way that we do. That's kind of important to us. So you can count on, with a high degree of certainty, you can count on being treated the way we treat you by the people that we put you in touch with. So again, that's part of the value proposition that we offer. So, and again, that is what being a consummate professional is in my mind. Helping you make good decisions, giving you the right information in order to do that, and then getting you the right help where needed in order to support it. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that for the week. As always, we are here for you and yours. If you know somebody that could use our help, we'd love to talk to them. So by all means, let us know. All right, until the next time.